YouTube, what up? Welcome back to another episode of Gameweek Predictions. We got all the boys on today. Deli is back from holiday, so he has made the call. So all four boys in the call today. We're going to go for Gameweek 3 results real quick. They'll be on screen as well. Liam's still holding the 10-point gap after the first 3 games. He didn't really do nothing, but then Sunday's games, he got 2 correct scores and a correct result, meaning he keeps his 10-point gap at the top. Deli closing or Deli taking over me and Brendan in second place with 24. Me just 1 point behind 23, and Brendan 2 points behind me in 21. But we know one correct result turns the whole tide of the competition. So boys, before we do get on, Liam, you took a wild share last week and said that Luton was going to beat Chelsea.
Yep.
That didn't work out, did it?
It didn't, but I took a gamble knowing that I had the lead to kind of throw gambles out, and it still paid off, didn't it? So,
Would you like to
not
take
necessarily the
another
net result,
gamble? I'll
but
go to you first. Luton at home to West Ham. First game of this week. What are you thinking?
there won't be a gamble this week, unfortunately. um, I think West Ham, I don't think it'll be as easy as people would think, especially after how West Ham have played over their last 2 games. Obviously, they beat Brighton at the weekend and Chelsea the week before. But I think the way those 2 teams would have set up to play against West Ham would suit West Ham a lot better than it will having to play Luton, who will do exactly what they would have wanted to do against those, and they'll sit in and try and frustrate West Ham. But I think they'll still have enough to beat them, and I think it'll be 2-0.
2-0 West Ham. 2-0 West Ham. I think the way West Ham's performed recently, I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham put more than 2 past Luton. Luton, they don't really seem, attacking wise, don't really seem that dangerous. Like Chelsea held a clean sheet against them. A lot of fantasy football points for everyone in that game. But I think West Ham do continue on the unbeaten streak that they're on, and I think West Ham won 3-0. I'm going 3-0. I think Jared Bowen has brilliant game today. Friday. Brilliant game on Friday. Let's go to Brendan. Brendan.
Luton just look like the whipping boys, don't they? They're going to probably be beaten by most teams this year. I've gone the same route as Liam. I've gone 2-0 West Ham.
2-0
And
West
I
Ham.
think what a lot of people are overlooking with West Ham is the additions they've made to the squad with the money they got from Arsenal for Declan Rice. I think they've rebuilt the midfield well, and I think that will help them going forward.
I'm excited to see Mohamed Kudus play.
Yeah,
I'm really
because
excited.
a lot of clubs were linked with him, and he ended up at West Ham of all clubs. So
Yeah, same as Piqueta. A lot of clubs were linked with him, and then he ended up West Ham too. So interesting to see what West
It's a
Ham
2
could
0
do.
not 3-0, by the way, too.
Right, thank you very much. This is why I keep my screen up. And then Deadly, you're back. You're back for Nora Game Week Productions. Your first one back. Luton at home to West Ham.
3-1.
3-1. I was going to say, if you didn't say anything, I was going to put you down as 3-1 Luton there. 3-1 West Ham. And we're going to stay in Deadly for the next game. And we'll just go anti-clockwise again. Deadly, Sheffield United at home to Everton.
I reckon Everton get the first 3 points. We'll go 1-0. 1-0 Everton.
1-0 Everton. I mean, I don't see any goals coming from. Well, Sheffield United just signed Cameron Archer as well, so that'll be interesting to see how he does. I bet he'll start though. Brandon.
like this game, like we're 4 weeks into this, and like we've had some up and down predictions. This one to me, 0-0.
No, yeah.
Like I don't see either team getting a goal here. It's just going to be a tough watch.
I think any Everton game this year is going to be a tough watch. Liam.
Except when they decide to turn up against us.
Exactly. What do you think, Liam?
I've gone with 1-1. I think the fact that they're both in desperate need of points, really. So I think we might get a bit more attacking game than you may suspect. Obviously, both defenses are vulnerable, especially on the break. So, but I just don't think either one are good enough to win a game at the minute. So 1-1
That's
was the logical pick for me.
that's interesting because I watched Sheffield United against
They were quite good against Man City, weren't they? They defended
yeah,
really well.
defended really
But
well.
obviously, against Man City, they're going to sit like it's similar to what I said about West Ham. They would sit a lot deeper, wouldn't they? So
Yeah.
against Everton, they're going to fancy their chances here. This is the kind of game where they're going to be able to get points in.
I think they
Again,
played
need to try
good
to
against
win,
Forest.
So it'll be a different kind of setup.
I feel like Forest should have the game long dead and buried before Sheffield United came back into the game. But I think Sheffield take this, you know. I'm gonna go a 2-1 Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United take this. And addition to Cameron Archer, Gustavo
Hey, I would
Haber's having
take that.
good.
That's fine.
I wonder if Everton can do it Derby County and go be the worst team in the Premier League history, because that would be funny, wouldn't it?
They've got their team's way, like player for player wise, their team's too good for that.
Mm.
They'll find their feet at some point. They will win games.
A team that has won on games, and a lot of them recently, Brentford. At home, the Bournemouth lame.
I have gone with 2-1 Brentford.
2-1 Brentford.
I think Bournemouth haven't started too badly really. They had a tough start. Some of the teams they played. They played Tottenham at the weekend, didn't they? They played Liverpool at Anfield. So they'll see this as an opportunity again to try and get some points on the board. But I think Brentford at home will probably have just a bit too much for them.
Okay. I mean, I have a lot of Brentford players in my fantasy football. I have no Bournemouth, but I was impressed when Bournemouth played us. Brendan.
Yeah, they were decent.
Oh, you've got to go Brentford here. They've been, like everybody said at the start of the season, where will the goals come from without Tony? But they've been scoring. I'm going to go Brentford 3, Bournemouth 1.
Okay, 3-1. Thing is, everyone thinks this is going to be a big game for Brentford. Like, this is a game that Brentford need to win. The thing is, Bournemouth are a good team.
I'm going to go 2-1 Bournemouth.
Okay.
2-1, not 3-1.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do the whole speech of how I think Bournemouth might steal this game, and then is, well, yeah, you know what, I'm going to take the 2-1 prediction before you take it. So, with that, I'm going to go 2-2 draw. I'll take a 2-2 draw right here. I'll take a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a very good game, though. Both teams who are, like, middle of the pack in the Premier League. Burnley versus Tottenham. Delhi, you can start in this one. You can have the first prediction.
I'll give 3-0 Spurs.
3-0 Tottenham. I think under Ange, Tottenham's been very good football recently. And I'll leave my prediction to the very last one.
They're always going to do better in an attacking system, I think. They've got players for it.
But do you think Tottenham's better attacking-wise without the presence of Harry Kane?
Well, obviously not, no, because it's Harry Kane. And if Harry Kane was still there, there'd be a big problem for teams this season. But the way they're playing does suit some of the attacking players that they've got in, Son, Kulusevski. And they were always kind of just held back a bit under the last few managers, really, weren't they?
I feel like the additions
With
of
having kind of a bit of
Bacaro.
freedom.
Bacaro's conceded 1 goal so far this season, the least by any goalkeeper. Udegi's having a brilliant season so far. Like Pedro Porro, whenever all these players that are playing now this year, you look at them going like, they're actually good. And maybe it's just Ange's system that fits them all. But Brendan, what do you think? Burnley at home, Turf Moor against Tottenham.
Yeah, it should be a Tottenham win. Burnley at home could cause an upset here, maybe, but I've gone 3-0 Spurs as well.
Oh.
The one thing I will say about Spurs is I do think they're an injury to a key player. If they were to lose a James Maddison or a Son, I think they could be in big trouble.
What a signing Madison is, by the way. He's been brilliant.
One thing this season, like Arsenal went 105 million on Declan Rice, 60 million on Havertz, when we could have got James Maddison for 40. Like to see him end up at Spurs is probably the right place for him right now, but I think he deserves it to be at an even better club.
I think 40 million for James Maddison is still.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Liam.
I've also gone with a Tottenham win. I've gone 2-1. I think Burnley at home drew a goal, not scored in the league yet. Obviously, they've only played twice, but but yeah, I think Tottenham will probably just about have too much for them. Burnley will get going eventually, but they've had a bit of a tough start. Was the two of the obviously they've only played two, but two of their first three once they've played this have been Man City and Tottenham. So
Yeah, they're getting the
normally
big games out of the way
easy start
first.
for them.
I feel like Tottenham too much quality for Burnley. I've gone with a 3-1 Tottenham one. The way Ange has been playing football, very attacking. I do feel like they're one defensive mistake away from being opened up like Liverpool was against Newcastle. But yeah, one mistake they got there, and I think because they play such passing football, one wayward pass, and I think Burnley's 3-1 goal. 3-1 Tottenham, I'm going. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. Who wants to kick it off, boys? Chelsea at home to Nottingham Forest.
Well, I
this
just
is my
saw it down
first.
here in front of me, and even just thinking about it now, like it's still, I'm still up in the air about this game because yes, Chelsea played very well against Luton, but you have to take into account it was Luton they played. Forest have actually kind of been pretty surprising in a good way. They've been very, very good. I do think Chelsea will win it, and I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Forest 1.
2-1 Chelsea. Okay. Now I was watching the Nottingham Forest United game with Delhi and Discord, and yeah, it was a funny game to watch its reaction to. Whenever they went 2-0 down after the first 5 minutes.
Sure.
Liam, Chelsea at home to Nottingham Forest.
I've been impressed with Nottingham Forest so far. Obviously, they were obviously they threw it away really, didn't they? But they were still unlucky the weekend. They started really well. They've been quite good going forward. Arguably, the red card wasn't a red card. The penalty is absolutely not a penalty, but the way VAR runs in this country is embarrassing. So we won't go into that. But I think they can cause not necessarily an upset this weekend. I've gone with 1-1. I think Chelsea, like I said, they were very good against Luton. Sterling looked very good again. But I think Nottingham Forest will be a bit more of a difficult game than Luton, obviously. And there'll be more of a threat going forward. So Chelsea will be a bit more wary. So 1-1.
I like it. I could probably back it. You know, I did call Forest to dominate the game against United and to draw, and I literally thought my prediction was coming to fruition until the red card and the penalty. But I still think Chelsea, the way they played against Luton, Sterling played well. Enzo Fernandez had a brilliant game, I thought. I feel like the team is starting to click right now, and I think that's what Chelsea need. And I think back-to-back ones for Chelsea will really... They've got like 4 or 5 winnable games now, so if they can put a string of ones together in the next 4 or 5 games, I think they could be a problem this year. I think we kind of underestimated them at the start of the season with the amount of transfers they brought in. But I think things are starting to click, and I'm going to go for a 3-0 Chelsea one here. Dally, what are you thinking?
1-0 Chelsea win.
1-0 Chelsea. I'm putting all my faith in fucking Jackson and Sterling, you know. Dally, we're going to stay in you. Your rivals, Man City. At home to Fulham. What are you thinking?
3-2 Man City.
Oh, I mean, the fact I'm going, damn, City's going to concede 2 goals. But City defensively this year, have they conceded goals? They conceded 1 against Sheffield United. They conceded, they didn't concede against Newcastle. They kept a clean sheet. They conceded 1 against United.
No, they didn't. Newcastle scored against them.
No,
they didn't.
that was 1-0 City. Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm looking at the wrong thing, my
Oh, you're looking at your prediction.
bad.
I mean, City conceded 1 goal this year and it's against Sheffield United. So they are like, you keep clean sheets against Newcastle, but you let Sheffield United score against you. But I think Fulham with no Mitrovic is going to be a problem.
Different setups, though, isn't it? If against Sheffield United, they're going to have pretty much the entire ball.
True, yeah.
Sheffield United were on the break. They were a bit more conservative against Newcastle because Newcastle are more threat going forward.
I think City won. I think they keep a North clean sheet. I think I'm going to go for 2-0 Man City 1.
Well, just after the game last weekend, like Arsenal were able to carve up that Fulham defence at times. Now, admittedly, Arsenal couldn't take advantage of the being able to carve open that Fulham defence, but you'd surely think this Man City team, like even without Kevin De Bruyne, still have enough quality to beat Fulham. and of course Haaland up top. I agree with you, T. I do think it will be a clean sheet for Man City, but I also think Man City will have a field day. I've gone 4-0 Man
Ooh.
City.
I mean, Fulham, when I watch when I watch Match a Day and I watch a Man City game and I watch a Fulham game, it's like Arsenal should have had more goals, yes, but at the same time, Arsenal at the very back were very shaky at times as well, which was very surprising for an Arsenal team. But Liam, you're up.
I'm going 3-1 Man City.
Okay.
I think Fulham have what it takes to go on the break. But it should be a comfortable enough day for City at home, I would say.
And we'll stay in you and we'll bounce straight back. We got two big teams, two teams who are playing European football for the first time, and I don't know, probably first time in their club's history. I know Brighton. Brighton at home to Newcastle.
Brighton, yeah. Newcastle, no. I've gone. What have I gone? 1-1.
Okay.
I think Brighton will be looking. They'll be disappointed after the game against West Ham at the weekend. Obviously, they dominated possession, couldn't quite create the chances they needed, and West Ham's game plan was spot on, really. I think similarly, Newcastle obviously will cause more problems. Will probably have a bit more of the ball as well. I think it'll be a bit more of an even game, but it shouldn't leave Brighton as exposed as they were against West Ham. So, and I think both sides will be wary of each other. So, another 1-1 draw.
Another 1-1 draw. That's going to be the third one that Liam protected this week. He predicts there's going to be 3 1-1 draws in 8 games. Brendan, do you agree?
Oh, I think based off what happened to them last weekend, I think Newcastle will be hurting a little bit. For they controlled the game against Liverpool for long periods of that game, and ultimately lost the game. And I'm just thinking, will that affect them here going to the Amex? I'm going to go Brighton to win 2-1.
2-1 Brighton. I mean, I do, like, both teams are going to be upset that they didn't come away with 3 points last week. Brighton somehow lost to West Ham. West Ham were the better team when I watched the highlights. Newcastle, now when I watched the highlights, I thought Newcastle could have had 3 goals by the time Darwin Núñez bagged an equaliser. Almiron's shot saved by Alisson. What a save, by the way. But I think
I'm calling it already, T.
What?
That save of the season. It'll be very hard to top
I
that.
think it'd be very hard to top that as well. This to put the situation as well on top of it.
I've seen people slating it on Twitter saying it's an easy save and it's straight at him and stuff. I don't think people seem to really
How hard
these Almirons hit that.
Yeah.
And how late Alisson would have seen it as well, because there's such a big group of players in front of him. It's an unbelievable save. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
I don't know who's saving it, but there are certain goalkeepers who wouldn't even get, it may be quite close to him, but there are certain goalkeepers who do not react quick enough to that. It's a ridiculous save.
I think
it's a save that realistically wins us the game. If we go 2-0 down in that game,
we lost.
We lose.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I think Newcastle do have enough quality to take apart Brighton.
They probably put 4 past us.
Yeah. I feel like we were lucky they didn't put some past. However, I can't see what a Verbruggen start, his first start in the Premier League, he considered 3 goals. Did he just go back to the trusty old Jason Steele? I don't know. I think Newcastle have too much attacking quality for Brighton.
I don't think 3 goals were anything to do with him, though, were they?
No, but
there's not very much you can do about it.
It's just not a good sign. You make a Premier League debut after like a big money move and then you can see 3 goals. It just doesn't look good on paper. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Newcastle 1.
On paper, you can't just look at it like that.
I'm going for 2-1 Newcastle 1. Delhi, Newcastle, Brighton.
2-0 Brighton.
2-0 Brighton. Like Newcastle have been impressive this year. I think Brendan and Delhi. I mean, this might come back. I might be the only one that got the prediction wrong. You guys might. The Brighton one might be coming to fruition. But I know Vandal watches these videos, and Vandal's a big Newcastle fan. He always texts me about how well he thinks Newcastle's doing. To be honest, Newcastle played well against us. Should have came away with 3 points. We got lucky. But I think they can walk away from the Amex with 3 points. Delhi will stay with you. Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park at home to Wolves.
0-0.
You know, I'm not even going to skip on to Liam or Brendan because that's the prediction that I had for this game as well. I have a 0-0 for Crystal Palace and Wolves as well. I just don't see anything really happening between these two teams. Liam, we'll come to you first. You won't because we seem to have lost Liam. Brendan, we'll come to you first.
Make that 3 people for 0-0.
Yeah, I thought so.
Again, it's 2 teams that they're going to struggle to score goals. These 2 teams this year.
Yeah.
So 0-0.
I feel like we lost Liam. Yeah, okay, so we'll continue and I'll get Liam's input and we'll just edit the goal around. Right, I'm going to keep my prediction to Liverpool game the last. I want to hear what Dele FC say first. A Man United fan. Liverpool at home to Aston Villa, Dele. What are you thinking?
See, from what I can remember here of Liverpool and Villa, you've had good games every time you've played.
Apart from the game we got smashed 5-0.
That was a good game. I don't know, I could see... Because you're going to be missing Van Dijk.
Yeah. So it'll be Gomez and Matip as the 2 centre backs.
Ollie Watkins up front.
Yeah, Diaby on the side.
But I don't know. Depending on whether you lose Salah as well.
I don't think Salah goes. I honestly don't think Salah goes.
goes. Alisson's going. I could say a 2-2 even with Salah.
You say 2-2. You go for a 2-2 draw. Okay. Brendan, we'll come to you. Liverpool at home to Aston Villa.
I have a score written down here in front of me, and I think I'm actually going to change this on the fly.
Okay.
Initially, I'd written down Liverpool to win 2-1.
Okay.
But Deadly made a good point that these games, Liverpool and Villa, always cracking games. I think even with Van Dijk missing, I think Liverpool win. I think the pace of the Villa attack will cause trouble for Liverpool. I'm going to go Liverpool 3, Aston Villa 2.
Oh, 3-2. Big scoring game again. Again, 2 weeks in a row, we're going to be involved in another thriller. Crystal Palace at home to Wolves.
I've gone 1-0 Palace.
Oh, the only person to
Low
predict the
scoring game,
one.
but I think Palace are good enough to be Wolves.
Everyone else went for a 0-0 draw. So if Palace won in any shape or form, you got yourself some points there. Right, Liverpool versus Villa. So Dele and Brendan just had a talk. Dele thinks 2-2 draw. Brendan thinks 3-2 Liverpool 1. If I even with Van Dijk's suspension, having to play Matip and Gomez at the centre back, if Canary's not fully fit and back yet, he is doubtful. I feel like Aston Villa will cause problems with Watkins and Diaby and all on their break. Villa are a good team, don't get me wrong, they're a good team. I still think attacking wise, because Aston Villa are missing Tyrone Mings, I think they're skeptical to attacks as well at the back. And I feel like our 5 or 6 attackers that we can bring with 3, bring 3 off a bench like we did against Newcastle will still cause Villa too many problems. And I think we just about won this game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory, Liverpool. 2-1 victory. Liam.
I've also got us to win. I did originally have the same as Brendan. I had 3-2, but I'm going to back our defence a bit more and hope that we are actually a bit more solid than that defensively. And I've gone with 3-1. I think at home, hopefully, should have enough.
Good, fingers crossed. And it ended the biggest game of the weekend. We got an Arsenal fan and Brendan, United fan and Dudley. So I'm not going to start with any use. I'm going to go straight to Liam. Going to go start with a Liverpool fan.
I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay.
Arsenal, obviously, they weren't exactly convincing against Fulham. They had the chances. They probably should have scored more than what they did, and probably should have won the game, really. But it is what it is. But from what I've seen of United so far this season, the Arsenal midfield is going to absolutely overrun them. They're not going to get close.
Yeah, I think the United midfield this year has been very shaky a lot of the times.
Arsenal will be up for that game at home, especially. And I mean, United were lucky again against Forest.
I don't think
It could
United's
quite
luck
easily
runs
be
out,
on
bro.
2 points right now.
I don't think United's luck runs out. I feel like United, I think they'll turn up for the big game against Arsenal. Knowing this is the biggest game so far in the season for them, I think they'll turn up.
You say that, but their worst performance was probably Tottenham. That was the biggest game they've had.
That's very true, yeah. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think Bruno Fernandes penalty or something like that there. Just go 1-1 draw. I just don't see a lot happening in this game. It's a big game. Sometimes these games don't live up to the billing, I guess. And I think this is one of the times. I think just could go straight down the middle. We go for 1-1 draw. Now, who wants to start it off by us? Arsenal or United?
Next we got Brendan, because we know what Dad's is going to say.
True. Brendan, Arsenal. Your team Arsenal at home to Man United. What do you think? Talk us through it.
Well, first off, like Arsenal have been so unpredictable this year in terms of squad selection and performance. I do think Arsenal will win this, but I think one of the big things that will influence this game is what way will Arsenal set up in midfield? Will we go back to the normal back four with Partey, Rice, Odegaard? I think if we go with that trio, I think we will win the game.
But then, if you go with that trio, Brendan, who starts at the back four now?
It would be Ben White right back, Gabriel, Saliba, Zinchenko would be my back four. That's the way I personally would set up for this game. And I think he will go back to what worked for him well last year.
But if Rashford
And I
plays down the
think-
left, Rashford on Ben White, I think Rashford has Ben White in his pocket all day.
But like what you have to think of too is Ben White isn't a right back by trade. He is a centre back.
Yeah.
Moved out to right back too. As far as score goes, I think we'll get a repeat of the score from the Emirates last year. And I'm gonna go my second straight 3-2.
3-2 to Arsenal. Another big. Brendan thinks Arsenal. Is that Sunday or Monday game, boys?
Sunday.
So we have Liverpool, Villa, and Arsenal United on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go rogue here a little bit.
And your rogue shout of the week. What's your rogue shout?
Kai Havertz scores his first goal for Arsenal against Man United.
Oh, at the one on goal.
I don't know if it'll be the winning goal, but I think he will get on the score sheet because he's just like people are slating him already. Like that he was too big, he hasn't been good enough, he hasn't scored. But what I think he has done well is he's a tough physical presence who can get in there, he'll link midfield to attack. But I think a team like Man United is just it's perfect for him, and I think he will get his first goal.
Yeah, I don't know what's more embarrassing, conceding 3 to Arsenal or having Kai Havertz score his first Premier League goal against you. I'm not sure.
Well, with Onana in goal, bro, anything's possible.
Yeah, you're conceding more than 3.
But
Come on, Daddy. We all know what you're thinking. Just say it. Just say it.
Listen, no,
That's it.
we're gonna go back to like 12 years and 2 days ago.
Oh, here we go. What, 7-0?
This was when Man U beat Arsenal 8-2. Yeah. We're gonna pay a homage to that, yeah, and we're gonna go with a wild ass shout, yeah. And
But-
I'm going 6-1 United.
Oh,
Oh god.
We knew it was coming. We knew a United one was coming from Delhi, but I wasn't expecting that.
But in all fairness, it's probably gonna win 2-2. But yeah, I'm calling 6-1. That's my final answer.
It's actually a rogue shout of the week.
If he gets that right, I'm not doing this anymore.
I think it's alright. Do we just give him another bonus? Do we just give him 4 points instead of 3?
Yeah,
I think
I'm
we.
okay with that.
I
If
feel.
that
I feel.
actually
I
happens.
think that predicts a 6-1 victory to United. Like, I might go on Sky Bet and just have a look at what the 6-1.
I
Well,
think if United win 6-1, you should buy him the United shirt now.
I
What the fuck?
just want to see. I just want to see what the odds are for United to win 6-1 right now.
6-1.
It's not even on it. The highest it goes is 5-2.
How much is that worth?
200 to 1 of 5-2, so it'll be a lot more than 200 to 1, but it's not on Sky Bet. It does only goes as far as 5-3. So it'll be higher than a 200 to 1. So that's Delhi's rogue shout. United scored 6 past Arsenal. Brendan's rogue shout. Arsenal won 3-2, and Kai Havertz gets his first Premier League goal. Liam, rogue shout of the weekend.
It's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, my roguish shout so far is the Chelsea 1-all. But my rogue shout was their score last week, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. Joe Gomez to score his first ever professional goal. There you go. That's bloody rogue.
That is rogue. What is this weekend's predictions? What is this? I'll back
The
us.
Gomez one is never happening, by the way.
Yeah.
He's never scored a goal, and it's really sad.
I think the most believable ones, the one I'm about to say, I put City to 1-2-0, and I think my rogue shout is Haaland blanks, and both City goals come from midfielders. I think Haaland blanks, and both City goals.
That's not a bad shout because
Like a Rodri and
I
Kovacic or
thought when
something.
he stepped up to take that penalty against Sheffield United and he missed, I was like, is it just going to be one of those days for him?
He had a lot of shots that game, a lot of shots. One of them had to
Yeah.
go on, one had to go on. Or I could go Liverpool 2-1 against Aston Villa. Darwin Núñez scores both goals.
I was gonna say a Nunes hat-trick, and then I thought, nah, Joe Gomez goal.
I don't even know which one would be higher odds.
Oh, obviously, Joe Gomez has never scored. So
Just to touch on Liverpool, how have you not started Nunes in any of the games so far?
Bro, I took
Like-
Núñez in my fantasy football because he hadn't started in 2 games. He comes on to sub against Newcastle and scores 2.
I
I'm like,
know,
are you
but,
serious?
Look at the chaos he causes when he's on the pitch for you.
I think he was better as well though against Newcastle because of the fact that Newcastle were trying to put the game to bed. So I think we got 10 men. We just sat there. We played the game of right. We'll sit in until the 75th sort of minute, and then we'll bring on Jota, Nunes, and people with that energy, the people that can cause
Harvey
problems
Elliott, yeah.
against tired legs, and that's exactly what we did, and it paid off.
Do you
So
think he starts against Villa?
I think you kind of have to after the way he came on, don't you? Do you mean that his confidence will be flowing massively right now?
But
I
do you
think
put him up?
he'd be unlucky not to start against Villa, but at the same time, I wouldn't have an issue with him coming on late on against tired Villa legs. So
I think for the amount of money that we invested in him, he came off a bench, scored 2. I think you have to start him this game, but then it's him, Salah, and who? Diaz? But then who plays in the
yes,
middle?
obviously.
But then Nunes have to play in the middle.
Well, yeah, he's a striker. That's usually where we play.
Wait. He used to play whenever last year if it was Nunes, Salah, and Firmino or something. He used to play on the left. That's why.
Well, yeah, but Diaz was injured a lot when he so was Jota.
Yeah.
So
Any more predictions
Oh,
for this week, boys? I think that's all the scores, all our rogue
trying to
shots.
find the bloody.
I predict Salah leaves Liverpool.
You think
Oh,
Salah
God,
leaves?
you're
Nah.
Stupid.
Guys, appreciate you all for watching another week of Game Week Predictions. This is week 4. All the results will be on the screen. If you are enjoying the series, make sure to smash a thumbs up and subscribe down below. It's been your boy T. It's been the boys in the chat. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.